That was Etude number 20 of the Rose 32 studies for clarinet. I'm here to give you some tips on how to practice this piece so that you can play it in your audition for regional auditions here in Connecticut. While the main goal of this study is to master the technique that's involved, it is particularly important that the 16th notes are even throughout. Not only should the rhythm be even, but the tempo should be the same tempo from beginning to the end, no matter how complicated the music is. The tempo in my performance was 60 beats per minute for each dotted quarter, but you may not be able to play it that fast. That's okay. As long as you're keeping the 16th notes even and you're keeping a tempo consistent from beginning to end, you'll do just fine. So how do you pick a tempo for this piece that is right for you? You want to set your performance tempo based on the most difficult section of the piece. For most people in this study, that would be measure 70 through 20. Practice that section with a metronome so that the metronome is set to the 8th note and at a tempo that is so slow that there's no way that you can mess it up. You want to gear all of your tempos so that you're performing everything successfully every time that you play it. If your tempo starts off really slowly, well, that's just fine. You have at least a base to start with so that you build the tempo up as you gradually learn the piece. The hardest part in this, being measure 17 through 20, can be broken down in various components. What you want to do is first, by picking a tempo, and I have a metronome right here, you want to be able to find a tempo at which that you can play it. I would suggest singing the most difficult spot and tapping in the tempo if you have a metronome that takes in tap-ins. So here's what I'm going to do. One more time. That's our tempo. Now, to break it down, I think the first thing that you want to do is practice it first without the ornaments. That means leave out the trill and leave out the turn that's in the two little grace notes so that you're playing just the main notes. And it would come out something like this. Play that several times so that you're getting the main rhythmic values of the notes that are being filled in around it with the ornaments. The next thing you want to add is the little grace notes. Without the trill, this time adding the grace notes and keeping the integrity of the rhythm that you just practiced. Play that several times so that you have a very comfortable flow to the music. Now when you add the trill, this piece is going to go fast enough so that you can get away with trilling only one time to the upper note. In this case, the trill starts on a B flat and goes up to a C. Now instead of playing the regular fingering for C, which is next to impossible, you want to use the side key for the trills so that you can easily go from B flat to C. In this case, you want to hold the B flat with your left hand, that'd be the thumb on the register key and the first finger on the A key, and then tap the top two side keys with the second knuckle. So in this case, you want to leave your right hand out of position a little bit so that you can tap those top two side keys. Now we're going to play this, adding the trill and the grace notes, and then making sure we stop on the second beat with the metronome, with one shake in the trill. I'm going to do this for the first 4 measures. I wasn't completely satisfied with that because sometimes I got to the second beat a little early. I want to do this much more precisely. That's much better. Then you would want to do that yourself, practice it through so that several times in a row correctly, and then increase your speed gradually. Once you've done that, then you want to add the last 3 16th notes to each of the measures. And you want to play it more times correctly than incorrectly. That means that if you want to practice this at this metronome marking, which I have marked here as a 101, you want to play it through 10 times in a row without a mistake. If you practice it and you play 9 times in a row without a mistake, and the 10th time you miss it, you need to start again from the very beginning and practice it so that you're precise for 10 times in a row. That's going to guarantee that you're practicing it more times correctly than incorrectly. And then when you're under pressure, you'll default to the way that you know how to do it, which turns out in this case to be the correct way. Another very important aspect of playing this etude is to make sure that your fingers are moving to the keys with the utmost of efficiency. In this case, you want to make sure that your hands are situated in a way so that your fingers are pointing downward at an angle of about 45 degrees. That will allow your first finger to be close to the A flat key right here and the A key here, while still being able to cover the tone hole underneath. Keeping your pinky on the little finger keys is going to help you keep your hand positions correctly. And in the back, the thumb is going to be arranged at an angle also so that you are touching the register key and the tone hole at the same time at an angle, not straight up and down like this. The right hand is the same way. The angle of the fingers are pointed downward at a 45-degree angle. The first finger is on top of the first side key, just the first side key. Don't use the side key as a hook to hold the instrument. That makes for very inefficient movement. I've seen many clarinetists do that. And then making sure that the pinky is aligned so that you can push down the little finger keys here all at the same time. That's going to make your fingering so much more efficient moving, and you'll be able to do that excerpt in measure 17 through 21, 17 through 20, that is, very, very efficiently. If you do all of those things, then you stand a very good chance of doing well in your audition for the regionals. Make sure that you're playing the 16th notes very evenly, and that the tempo is exactly the same all the way through, so that you don't have any differences of pacing throughout the piece. Good luck, and I hope you do well.